Unity. We talked last week about some of the miraculous work he's been doing in prison. And today we're going to talk about Council's work in schools and how they address gang violence. Bob, welcome.
Thank you, Dave. We go way beyond gang violence. That's not the thrust of the program. The council's received most of its publicity because of our work with gangs, but that is just a minor part of what the program really focuses on. For years, education was driven by the need for promotion and graduation rates. As a result, children with problems were unable to get those issues dealt with in a traditional classroom. A teacher who was pressured to get those promotion and graduation rates up would be hindered if they devoted time in the classroom to the needs of children. That became a serious problem for a long time. Then, as a result, that gave birth to the new emphasis on social emotional learning. By the way, the problems that kids bring to classrooms today is pretty extreme. We're living in a very alienated, isolated society. COVID put a real dent in psychological well-being of children. Their obsession with their iPads and their smartphones has compromised their ability to use language effectively because they cannibalize the language when they text. We're looking at a host of issues that really have to be addressed. Council for Unity makes that happen. We established social emotional learning before educators even coined that phrase. When we started, we realized that if we couldn't meet the deepest needs of kids, our program would not be successful. We came up with a 4-point strategy. It's called the 4 pillars of Council for Unity: family, unity, self-esteem, and empowerment. Those 4 pillars represent the need for children to have a family. If they did not get or do not have the family that they need, the Council for Unity gives them the opportunity to form a family that will be a support system for them. Unity addresses their need for safety and their need to be free from all forms of discrimination. You bring everybody together, there's nobody left to fight. You bring everybody together, there's nobody left to make fun of. The 3rd pillar of Council for Unity is self-esteem. And another critical issue. Many kids come to school with issues around self-worth, some having issues with self-hate, and not much is done to really reverse that in traditional classrooms because the emphasis is on academics, not on the social psychological needs of children. Council for Unity's focus on self-esteem basically builds on the natural talents and abilities of our participants, offers them opportunities to change, to take risks that will help them discover their inner powers, and to give them opportunities to lead. So as those things unfold, a child in Council for Unity is growing more and more secure, more and more confident as their participation extends through the program. The final piece is empowerment. Instead of having children depend on our advisors, on me, the program is designed to ultimately have children play a major role, not only in what they learn, but how they learn. We basically cultivate our kids to teach the lessons, which has a profound effect on self-esteem because it sends a message that we're confident in you, that you're capable of navigating our curriculum and teaching it. Those 4 pillars have been responsible for a meteoric rise of Council for Unity from 6 gang leaders in 1975 to a movement now that extends all through the 5 boroughs, all the way through to Long Island and beyond. That, in a nutshell, is the paradigm for Council.
Everyone knows Council for Unity is famous for crushing violence. Can you tell me some of the success stories you have with your program?
To be honest with you, Dave, it's not just about quashing violence. That is a challenge beyond the reach of most educators because there are social conditions that create that. Council for Unity's curriculum, because of the emphasis on unity, of bringing everybody together and there's nobody left to fight, that unity concept is the primary engine to end conflicts and hostility. If everybody's at the table, there's nobody left to fight. When you empower kids for their own safety, they're going to take it because there isn't a kid on this planet who doesn't want to be safe. They just have to be invited to a mechanism that makes that happen. The second aspect of that, which can also lead to violence, is discrimination, racism, hatred of immigrants. The unity concept also mirrors a second precept, and that is, if you bring everybody together, there's nobody left to make fun of. I would say that those 2 precepts are the primary driver of Council for Unity's success. Anyone who's interested, on the Council for Unity website, there are videos showing our success in correctional facilities, which are miraculous, and videos showing our success in schools. The video, Young People Building Bridges, highlights the incredible transformation of young people who participate in this program. I can use my staff as some examples in transforming lives. I think you've interviewed Rick was involved in some underworld dark ventures when he was in school. I met him through a riot at Erasmus Hall High School with his partner. They got involved in Council for Unity, and here's the miracle. They gave up their illicit activities to join Council for Unity. When asked, what made you give up all that money to get involved in a program where you're working at times for $15 an hour? Their response was, the Council for Unity made us decide that we wanted to live. Having that street corner, which brings in tons of money, comes with a target on your back.
Yes.
And a death sentence. In opting for life, Rick now is doing extremely well. He's a site coordinator. All of his past and all the things he's been through have made him a credible messenger where he's saving lives. Kyle Harmon is another example. Kyle was a member of the Crips. He joined the Crips when one of his friends was killed in a drive-by by the Bloods. He encountered Council for Unity in Columbus High School, and seeing the impact that the program had on other gang-affiliated participants was an eye-opener for him. Rick became an extraordinary role model and an extraordinary credible messenger, changing lives. They've extended out to the world the benefits that they received, and they're lowering the nets and getting a lot of kids in conflict out of the pit. Those would be two primary examples of Council for Unity's success with former gang members who were leading lives in crisis.
Do you have any other stories to add?
There's thousands of stories in Council for Unity. I could be on this clip for another 3 days, elaborating on one kid, another kid, and where they are today. But what I would want to talk about is how the Council for Unity curriculum makes these transformations occur. So one thing that is not taught in our school systems, for the most part, is really teaching kids the single most important thing in their life. That is learning how to make relationships work. Many kids are involved in dysfunctional relationships, which long-term can really damage not only themselves psychologically, but damage themselves professionally as well. A child entering Council for Unity, embracing our curriculum, is learning the behaviors that make relationships work and also identifying behaviors that impede quality relationships. They are mandated to commit to avoiding the behaviors that compromise quality relationships. That is a profound thing because it leads to a major shift. The other thing I would add, Dave, which I think is our use of mythology. I've been profoundly influenced by world mythology all my life. I've realized that if you don't have an informed mythology that brings meaning to your life, you're a ship without a rudder. We created a dragon slayer myth, a fairy tale that every child has to read and participate in the course of the Council for Unity class. The dragon in the story is a metaphor for all the things that block people from their goals. It can be self-hate, it can be laziness, it could be lack of self-esteem, it could be poor judgment, it could be engaging in relationships that are toxic. For the most part, kids are not aware that they even have these dragons. The goal is for them to ultimately see the dragon not as some kind of a monster in a fairy tale, but as a living force that's inside of them. Their goal is to shine a light on those dragons, and with that, use the class, use the council circle to slay the dragon. It's had a profound impact on our kids because they now become aware that they have a very singular goal in their life. Who is going to drive their bus? Is it going to be the dragon, or is it going to be the potential hero or heroine inside of them? That has had a profound effect on change.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I would add that the Council for Unity was growing. We're being solicited by high schools, middle schools, and I think that is a tribute to the successes that we've had over the years. Principals, superintendents realize this Council for Unity program can really help us in dealing with the needs of children in ways that we don't have available to us. The other thing is that for the last 5 years, the Council for Unity high school graduation rate has barely slipped under 100%. And you're talking about kids who normally might not graduate at a 50 or 60% rate. Through their participation in Council for Unity, just about every one of our kids graduates high school, and most of them go on to college. Dave, you know, the other big thing is I hope you have some educators in your network because this could be a monster marketing tool for us.
I have 24,000 followers, mostly C-suite people.
That's okay. Everybody knows somebody.
All it takes is one.
All right, buddy. So get in touch with me next week. We'll make it happen again.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right, Dave. Have a good one. Happy